You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WBZH Daily News Roundup for the Buzz of the North, 9:10 a.m. in Hayward.
For WBZH News, I'm James Kelly. The city of Ashland is looking for a new city councilor following the resignation of Anna Tochterman. The city council will choose the replacement to fill out the remainder of the term, which ends in April of 2026. The chosen applicant will then need to run for the seat in the following spring election. The city council is asking any interested residents from District 3, which includes wards 6, 7, and 11, to complete their applications by March 24th. Interested applicants must also attend the city council reorganizational meeting on March 25th. The city of Superior is planning a reconstruction project on a portion of Tower Avenue before construction on the Blatnick Bridge replacement project begins. According to city officials, the $2 million project between Belknap Street and North 28th Street will improve the driving surface of the road and replace head-on turn lanes with planted medians. The city is currently finalizing the design for the reconstructed road and plans to keep one lane of traffic in each direction open for drivers during construction throughout the summer. A Clayton man is facing up to 10 years in prison after being accused of accepting more than $36,000 for a contract project he never completed. According to court documents, 46-year-old Floyd Moen IV was charged with felony theft by contractor in Barron County Circuit Court last week. The complaint alleges he was hired for a project in Turtle Lake in 2019 and cashed a check for over $36,000 as a down payment for materials. A civil lawsuit filed by the homeowners resulted in a $37,000 judgment. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is urging residents to take precautions as measles cases rise across the country. There haven't been any reported measles cases in the state so far, but health officials are concerned that residents traveling for spring break may return with the disease. They're advising residents to check on their MMR vaccine eligibility with their healthcare provider. They also say typical flu prevention methods like washing your hands regularly or wearing a mask in crowded spaces can help prevent the spread. On Wednesday, a Wisconsin appeals court ruled that disabled residents are not allowed to receive an absentee ballot by email. Last June, a Dane County Circuit Court judge ruled that emailing the absentee ballots was allowed. That decision was appealed by Republican lawmakers, pausing the ruling through the November election. Wednesday's ruling also means disabled voters will not be able to receive their absentee ballots by email for the April 1st election. Currently, only military and overseas voters can have their absentee ballots emailed to them. As the weather starts to warm up, Wisconsin Department of Health Services officials are reminding residents that it's time to start looking out for ticks. According to a social media post, DHS officials say ticks are already becoming active even though it's not technically spring yet. They're advising residents to use EPA-registered insect repellent, wear long sleeves and pants, and check for ticks after spending time outdoors. More helpful information on tick prevention methods can be found on the Department of Health Services website. The Bayfield County Sheriff's Office has been using a new tool to help respond to mental health calls in the area. According to law enforcement authorities, the Avell eCare Crisis Care app can help responding officers connect residents experiencing a mental health crisis with a licensed mental health care provider instantly. That licensed provider can then work to de-escalate the situation and provide feedback to the responding officers. Officials say they've already seen a positive impact from the new tool, which is funded by a Department of Justice grant. An upcoming fundraiser hosted by Forever Fit will benefit the Feed Our Kids food backpack program in Rice Lake. The Climb for Kids fundraiser will take place from March 24th to March 28th, during which participants will be asked to set a goal for how many flights of stairs they will climb on a stair-stepper exercise machine. They'll then be asked to collect pledges or make their own donations based on how many steps they climb in a 30-minute session at the event. The proceeds will go to support over 300 children in the area. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources is warning residents to check fire danger warnings before outdoor burning as wildfire season arrives. According to a press release, the state has already seen around 170 wildfires this year, burning over 450 acres. Officials say that's about 4 times more wildfires than usual at this time of year. They also say fire danger will be on the rise this weekend as warm temperatures clear lingering snowfall and some dry weather and gusty winds move across the state. Attorney General Josh Kaul has announced Wisconsin will join another coalition of states filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration, this time over planned layoffs in the Department of Education. On Tuesday, the agency announced plans to lay off about 1,300 employees, or about half of its workforce. The coalition requested a court order to stop the dismantling of the department, arguing the layoffs are illegal and unconstitutional. Wisconsin has joined a number of lawsuits accusing the Trump administration of overstepping its authority. For WBZH News, I'm James Kelly.
The Bucks sink the Lakers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Bucks at the Lakers at Fiserv Forum. LA without LeBron James. Luka Doncic had 45 points. The Bucks still won by 20. 126-106. Milwaukee's Kevin Porter, 5 of 7 from the three-point line.
When we put the pieces together on both ends, it's going to be very hard to beat us. And that's kind of what we're just trying to figure out. Definitely had some lapses on defense and offense, but we'll take this game every night.
Men's college basketball, the Badgers take on UCLA today in the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin with a 70-63 win over Northwestern to advance. In New York, Marquette tonight against the number 1 seed St. John's in the Big East. After beating Xavier 89-87, Shaka Smart on Stevie Mitchell, sparking a come-from-behind victory.
Such a unique player. You can't quantify it. He willed us to come back when we were dead in the water. I love the guy.
That's head coach Shaka Smart with Sports on Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. If you're headed to the theater this weekend, there are lots of new releases to choose from. Personally, I'm most excited about Black Bag, a spy thriller and the latest effort from Steven Soderbergh, which stars Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett. The film is currently drawing a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Black Bag is rated R, probably for coolness. Another film reviewing well that opens this weekend is Novocaine, which is being labeled an action, mystery, comedy thriller. That's some serious bang for your genre buck. The film stars the red-hot Jack Quaid as a man who feels no pain and is trying to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend, played by Amber Midthunder. And if you want to introduce your kids to your favorite cartoon heroes of yesteryear, check out The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Porky Pig and Daffy Duck team up to save the Earth from an alien invasion. This is the first ever Looney Tunes fully animated feature film released in theaters. The film is receiving a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's have fun at the movies. Glenn Powell is not by any means desperate for work. In addition to filming a remake of The Running Man and Top Gun 3 on the horizon, Powell has just signed on to a new film called The Natural Order, a sci-fi thriller about the search for eternal life. The production is in the talks with Mufasa, the Lion King director Barry Jenkins. Jenkins also directed 2016's Moonlight, for which he won an Oscar for Best Director. Kelly Ripa and husband Mark Consuelos are often referred to as the cutest married couple ever around their dinner table. The overly perky co-hosts of Live with Kelly and Mark are great at self-promotion, and this time it's because Consuelos did a segment on the show with his fly open. The supposedly accidental open zipper became obvious when he leaned back in his chair. Producers thought quickly and moved to the next segment, which is called Stump Mark, which is a perfect segment name for a guy who forgets to pull up his zipper. Kelly Clarkson was absent from her own talk show for almost a week, causing fear in her fans that something might be wrong with her. Co-hosts filled in so that a TV-watching crisis was averted. Reps for the Kelly Clarkson show said that Clarkson was dealing with a personal matter that had nothing to do with her, which makes absolutely no sense. Kelly's fans flooded social media, taking time out of their extremely busy days to demand to know what was going on, until one social media user finally set things straight, saying, "Hey y'all need to understand this. Kelly does not owe y'all an explanation for her absence. Y'all can just stop." Does anyone else feel less intelligent now than when I started reading this? Do you think they'll tease the heck out of Kelly's return? I see a ratings bonanza for Kelly right around the corner, y'all. Big news from The Masked Singer, as the identity of the singer in the Space Ranger costume was revealed. Who cares? For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Scattered showers, even an isolated thunder shower possible today. Otherwise, it'll be breezy and mild. Our high right around 70 with wind out of the southeast 15 to 25. Scattered thunderstorms and rain tonight. We'll see rain tomorrow, and then a little snow will chime in at the end late tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 48.
That's your WBZH Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at buzzofthenorth.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.